Hey! The last digit of your like on this video by each who you are from Melon Playground, and the last digit of your subscription to my channel will show your Melon Playground item. So go down right now, subscribe and give me a like. Look at the screen. Notice the last digit of your like and your subscription and write in the comments who you are from Melon Playground. It's simple, if your like is number 8 and the last digit of your subscription is number 5, you're a lemon and a cactus. Show your imagination and enjoy the show.
Hello dear friends, you are on Melonfonk channel. In this video we are going to talk about the new syringes in Melon Playground. But before we start the video, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys for being in my video. If you want to be in my next video, you need to do a few things. 1. You need to subscribe to my channel. 2. You need to like it. 3. Write your top comment of 4 words or more. And don't forget to watch this video from beginning to end. It's very simple to fulfill all these conditions and have fun watching. And so friends, in this video I'm going to show you some very interesting concepts for the syringe update. I hope you have already subscribed and put a like because I worked very hard on making this video. For you it's simple, but for me it's very important. Please understand my request. And let's move on to the first syringe. And the first syringe we have is called the magnetic syringe. It's a very interesting syringe. Basically, the texture is pretty simple, but basically pretty. The texture is made in red and blue colors. I think it is obvious, because the designation of red and blue is the designation of magnetic dust. And I think the essence of this magnetic syringe is quite clear and obvious. When this syringe is injected, the melon begins to possess the properties of magnetism. That is, various metallic objects come close to it. They are sucked to the melon as long as it is still alive. The idea is that when the melon dies, so at that very second, the syringes cease to have the properties of magnetism. Rate from 1 to 10 this concept on syringes magnet. Personally, I think it's a very interesting piece of work. Basically a very interesting syringe, and I would love to see it added to the game. What do you think about it? Be sure to write in the comments. And let's move on to the next syringe. The next syringe is called a light syringe, and it's a very interesting syringe in my opinion. And as for me, it would be very cool to add it to Melon Playground. Anyway, the gist of this syringe is that when the syringe comes in contact with an NPC, the NPC starts to glow accordingly, and very cool it starts to glow, especially in the dark. Note on the screen how this will roughly work. When you inject the syringe into the NPC, it starts to glow and you can set absolutely any light you want. I'd really like to know what you think of this syringe, because I think it's just really fun and interesting. Perhaps it would not be in demand or would not have gained some popularity among users. But as for me, it is just interesting. Well, really cool would be to add something like this in the game, and maybe some used players would find this syringe. Rate this syringe from 1 to 10, and let's move on to the next syringe. The next syringe is called the explosion syringe, and the essence of this syringe is that when it comes in contact with melon begins to possess the explosion element of danger. Now I'll explain how it will work. Let's say you inject the syringe into melon, as shown on the screen. And now it's not just a melon, it's a walking bomb. And when he comes in contact with any object or melon, he starts to explode violently. You just see how very interesting that would be to see in a Melon Playground. I think that would be just maximally cool. What do you think about it? Be sure to write in the comments. Rate the syringe explosion of danger? Explosion basically in the comments. Well, also be sure to write in the comments which syringe you like the most from this video and which syringe you would like to add to the game. And let's move on to the next syringe. The next syringe is pretty trivial and simple. It's an ice pick syringe. Maybe someone will need it, maybe someone would be interested in it. In general, I would still like to see it in the game. The ice syringe is quite simple and actually trivial. And now I will explain why. When this syringe is injected, the melon simply freezes. Nothing else will happen to it, it will simply turn into ice. At this point, well, there's like a lot of them, and there's 3, but whatever. I think that the fourth way with a syringe would not hurt. Especially it would be cool to see when syringes, when injected into the water gun, begins to have the property of icing water. In principle, I think it sounds complicated and incomprehensible, but I think it is basically simple and interesting. Your opinions, of course, write in the comments and rate from 1 to 10 this syringe, and in principle, I would rate it probably all the same. It is quite banal. But why not? Well, guys, really. So let's move on to the next syringe. The next syringe is a syringe of fire, quite the same also trivial, but interesting syringe. In principle, to explain how it works. I think there is no point. You just understand on the screen, even the syringe itself says that I am a syringe of fire. I think it's obvious to everyone how it will work. When you inject this syringe, simply by injecting this syringe, the melon starts to catch fire, and it instantly catches fire. Nothing here in this unusual is not, and in principle I think that talk about this syringe for a long time simply no sense because it is not really very interesting. What can you say about a syringe of fire? Well, it just goes in and burns. It's all obvious and simple. Write in the comments, would you like to see the syringe of fire in the game, and what grade you would give it? And let's move on to the next syringe. Well, the next syringe of random syringe. And as it stands, it's a very interesting syringe, probably the most interesting of them all. The essence of this syringe is that when you inject it into an NPC, it starts to produce various random physical phenomena. For example, melon will sharply burn, or NPC will sharply begin to freeze or simply explode. Or a stone will hit him, for example, from somewhere it is not clear from where. In general, a random syringe, it's unclear what to expect from it. Basically random. That's basically the name of this syringe, and I think it would just be interesting and fun, I think. What do you think about this? Make sure you write in the comments. And what grade would you give this syringe? Personally, I would give it just an 8, for at least the idea, because the idea is actually funny and interesting. And let's move on to the last syringe. And the last syringe is the rabies syringe. When you inject this syringe, Melon starts to get as bad as possible and as fast as possible. He just starts pounding all over the map. That's basically the essence of rabies. He starts foaming. He starts waddling all over the map. He starts urinating under himself. Basically, all the weird things that are associated with rabies all happen at that moment when you inject this syringe. And as much as it would just be fun to me, it's a cool syringe with randomization, which I think would fit perfectly into the Melon Playground concept. Again, your opinion, of course, write in the comments. Personally, I would give this syringe a score of 7. It's a pretty cool syringe, a cool physical phenomenon it adds to the game, and would actually be much more interesting with it, as far as I'm concerned. What do you think about it? Be sure to write in the comments, but that's the end of my video. Thanks for watching. Good luck, everyone. Bye-bye. And remember, buddy, as always, I'll see you the other day.